What is up, guys? My name is Wumbo, and today we're going to take a look at some really interesting information we got from the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Andrew House, explaining why we're getting new consoles already. I mean, if you look at the traditional console cycle, we're about halfway through what it should be, and we're already getting the PS4 Pro, for example, and Scorpio next year, that are supposed to be leaps and bounds better graphically than their predecessors. We've had refreshes before, but we haven't had them that are designed to be so drastically better than their originals. I would have thought that the only reason the PS4 Pro came out was as a result of rumors about Xbox Scorpio, but that wasn't the answer that House gave. And what he talked about might be a little bit surprising to you. So let's get into it. So according to Sony, the mid-gen refresh isn't because of the Scorpio. It's due to PC gaming. Andrew House explained why Sony has opted to give a small boost in the PS4 Pro's hardware and their aim to provide gamers with 4K gaming in some capacity. I've obviously talked about how it's not really 4K, they're basically just upscaling 1080p, it's not actually rendering at 2160p, but I digress. According to House, the electronics giant Sony was compelled by the mid-gen move from consumers to take up PC gaming instead of console gaming. So this is really interesting. House said, and I quote, "I saw some data that really influenced me. It suggested that there's a dip mid-console lifecycle where the players who want the very best graphical experience will start to migrate to PC because that's obviously where it's to be had." According to House, they wanted to keep these people that are migrating over to PC gaming within their grasp by upping the PS4's graphical capabilities. House said that upgrading the hardware gives the PlayStation ecosystem the quote-unquote highest and best performance quality. Obviously, the PS4 Pro is not going to be the highest and best performance quality when you compare it to the PC, but it definitely is comparable to, I would say, what the vast majority of PC gamers have in terms of graphical capabilities. Not everybody that's getting into PC gaming is going out and buying a GTX 1070 or something. Most people are sitting around maybe a 750 Ti, maybe a 960. And what House is saying is that he noticed that a lot of people mid-console lifecycle, when they went back and looked at the data for the PS3, were not interested in what the PS3, for example, had to offer, but they were interested in how fast PCs were developing. When I first saw the headlines about this news, I was expecting House to say something about how Microsoft has made a huge turnaround. They wanted to come out with a console that could compete. But I think what he said about the PC is genuinely true, that Sony does have competition with the PC now, that the longer and longer Microsoft or Sony wait to address PC gaming, the worse and worse it's going to get for them because PCs are developing so quickly compared to how consoles are. Right now, you can get a $500 PC that outperforms a PS4 when it comes to 1080p 60 FPS gaming. You can get a $90 GTX GPU, if you shop around, that completely destroyed the Xbox One and PS4 in terms of raw performance. I mean, the PC is leaps and bounds ahead of the consoles. It's not even a question. But I've been thinking about it, and Sony and Microsoft have basically been oblivious to that fact for so long. They haven't even acknowledged it. People maybe have asked them about it, and they don't even care. They said, oh, our consoles are selling fine right now. We don't need to worry about it. But based on what House is saying, it looks like Sony, and I would assume Microsoft, have figured out that there is a huge market, an amazing amount of potential in PC gaming that they're trying to invest in. You can tell that from Microsoft they believe in PC gaming because of all the attempts they've made with cross-platform gameplay between PC and the Xbox One. They have the brand new Xbox app on Windows 10, obviously a big part of Microsoft's strategy. And now PlayStation seemingly coming out saying that the PS4 was inspired by PCs, that they believe that they have a huge potential in taking away some of the PC market if they actually just added some better hardware to their consoles. Obviously, consoles are great. They're easy to use. There's a lot of playability, originality in these consoles. The problem is that there are a lot of things that the PC just outright is better than consoles for. I don't need to get into a whole discussion about PC versus console here, but the point I'm trying to get at is that Sony and Microsoft are seemingly finally aware that PC gaming exists and is a huge, huge player in the gaming industry, and that Microsoft and Sony have a lot to gain if they actually acknowledge that they have a competitor with PC gaming and they actually do something to compete. If PCs continue to develop at the rate that they do and consoles continue to develop at the rate that they do, the difference is going to grow more and more, and it's just going to, it won't even be fair. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the information, let me know by leaving a like and a comment. Definitely comment letting me know what you think about the fact that Sony is finally acknowledging what's going on about PC gaming, how it's taking a lot of their potential market. Anyway, my name's Wumbo. I'll see you next time.